Hello friends, this is Nick from NLB Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how to transfer flexible single master operations or FSMO roles on Windows Server 2012 R2. In this video, I'm going to start by checking my current locations of the FSMO roles that are currently on my primary domain controller. I'm going to use the command netdom, and I'm going to show you how you can quickly check and see where are all the FSMO roles located within your domain. Of course, you can go with the GUI and check them one by one within the GUI interface, so I'm going to show you that as well. I'm going to provide you some information about the forest-wide FSMO roles, which are the Schema Master and the Domain Naming Master. I'm going to provide you more details about the domain-wide FSMO roles, the PDC Emulator Master, Infrastructure Master, and I'm going to proceed with transferring the domain-wide FSMO roles to my second DC, and later I'm going to transfer the forest-wide FSMO roles. So let's start with the demonstration. So first I'm going to start by logging into my primary DC. That's my DC01. And in here you can see that on the right top side I have a nice small program installed, the BG info. It's really nice and handy, and you can get a quick overview of what is the server that you are logged in on, and what is the free space, and a lot of small functions that small options that can help you to gather really fast information about the server that you are on. So I'm going to start by showing you where you can check the current location of your FSMO roles. Basically, the FSMO roles, the FSMO abbreviation stands for Flexible Single Master Operations, and you can hear a lot of different words used for the FSMO roles, like operations masters, operation master roles, or single master roles, or the FSMO roles. So it's basically the same thing if you are looking for this. So I'm going to start by checking the FSMO roles location. You can achieve this by using the command netdom and then the switch query and then FSMO. Press enter. And in here you can see that I have 5 FSMO roles, and in general they are split in two general groups: the forest-wide roles and the domain-wide roles. So the forest-wide roles, as you can see from the name here, they're responsible for your forest, and they are on a forest level. So every single domain that you join, that you create in your forest, these two FSMO roles will look after them. So the other three are domain-wide roles. So the forest-wide roles first are the Schema Master and the Domain Naming Master. The domain-wide roles are the Read Master, the PDC Emulator, and the Infrastructure Master. So as you can see from the name, for the domain-wide roles, they're responsible for every single domain within your forest. So, for example, if you create 2 domains, they will contain within every single domain you will have a Read Master server, you will have a PDC emulator, you will have Infrastructure Master, but you will have the same Schema Master and Domain Naming Master for both domains. So this is a thing that you need to consider and see. So in my case, that I have only one domain, I have only 2 servers, only 2 DCs that are currently talking to each other, and I can move the operations masters between the 2 DCs. So why should and why I can and why should I move the objects? Basically, the general idea behind that is, for example, if you are planning to remove a DC from your domain, to demote it as a domain controller, and if you have any of the FSMO roles currently, if this DC is holding any of the FSMO roles, you need to move them before you demote it. The general idea is, when you demote a DC, the FSMO roles will be automatically moved to the next closest DC. So it will do this automatically, but as an administrator we need to know that it's really important to plan in advance. So for example, if I have an old server, a 2003 server that was the first domain controller in my forest, for example, and I have only one domain with it within my forest, I will need to move any of the FSMO roles that are currently on my DC before I demote it correctly. So I can provide you with some more details about the FSMO roles. So let's start with the Schema Master role. The Schema Master is basically holding the all the information, all the attributes of properties of each object in the Active Directory. So to explain with visually to explain that to you, if you go to Active Directory users and computers, for example, and if I browse to my users, if I open Nick, all the information, all the tabs here, all the attributes for the objects here, the address, the account, this is currently contained into my schema. So you can see the picture now. Every single domain has for example, the Active Directory users and computers, and you have a lot of objects for security groups, for user accounts, for computer accounts, for servers, and so on. And they all contain this information, for example, for the general tab, the address, and the first name, last name, display name. Everything is contained into the schema. So this is basically the core of your Active Directory. And the other, let me minimize, the other forest-wide FSMO role is the Domain Naming Master, and this is responsible for looking after the names of your domains within your forest. For example, if you plan to add another domain within your existing forest, this domain naming master will be contacted, and it will check that your domain is not or the name that you are using for your domain is not already in use. So for example, if I plan to add an additional domain, and if I specify the name NLB Lab, it will fail because it will make a query within my forest, and it will see that that domain is name is already taken. So it again it looks after the names of the machines that are in the same domain. So for example, if I have an NLB-DC-01 server within my domain, if I try to promote another one, it will again fail. It will say that this name is already taken. So the domain naming master is responsible for generally the names of the domains within your forest. And let's go to the domain FSMO roles. Let's start with the PDC Emulator. Basically, this is a really important and critical role, and looks after a lot of things that are core for your Active Directory as well. So the one of the most important things of the PDC Emulator is that it's updating and replicating password changes. So for example, if a user tries to log in to his or she's PC, and he is forced to change, or he wants to change his password, the PDC Emulator is forcing a replication to all of the others DCs in your domain to change that password. Or for example, if a user tries to already change the password on his computer and tries to contact a different domain controller. For example, if I have two domain controllers in two different sites, and the user was using his PC on my main site, and there he changed his password, and after that he picked up his laptop and went to my branch office, and when he tries to log in to his PC once again, a Kerberos packet is sent to my branch office DC, and this DC, if it contains the old password, if it still did not replicate the changes for my user, it will see that the user is trying to log in with a different password that the one my DC has in its database. So it will contact my primary DC, my PDC Emulator DC, and will verify that the user is using the right password. And if the password matches, the user will be logged in and from my branch office DC. Another component that the PDC emulator is looking after is the domain synchronization of your time. So the PDC emulator is looking and is synchronizing the time within your domain. This is really important because, for example, if the time is not correct, users may experience issues with logging into your domain, to their PCs. So this is really important to be synchronized and to be, so for example, if you have the issue of users not able to log in to their PCs and it's saying that the time is not correct, or the time is for example with 10-15 minutes forward or backwards, you can then consider that there could be a problem with your DC that is holding this role. The next role is the read pool master, and this is read stands for relative identifier. The read master is responsible for generation of unique identifiers within your Active Directory. So if you know, all of the users, for example, within your Active Directory has a security identifier that is every time that you create a user within your domain, that user picks up this security identifier, security ID, and it is unique for every single user. So the read master is here it is, the object set. So this is the security ID for my NIC user. So the read master, basically, when you promote a DC within your domain, it gives that DC a pool of security IDs, and they are unique for every single DC. So the read master looks after the all the security objects to be unique. So every single user or every single computer should have a unique security ID generated. And the final domain master role is the infrastructure master. Basically, the infrastructure master is used for cross-domain reference. So for example, if you have a user in one domain and resource in another domain, the infrastructure master is responsible that this user can access the resources from the other domain. So as you can see, that it contains a partial information, or for example, if you have security groups from that are providing access to resources on another domain, this is contained in the infrastructure master, so this is important as well. So enough with the talk, let's start with the action. I'm going to start by moving first my domain wide FSMO roles, and I will start with my Active Directory users and computers. If you go to your domain and right click on it right on the top, you will see that you have the operations masters here. If you click, you will see that from here I can control the domain, all the domain wide FSMO roles, and which are the read, the PDC, and the infrastructure. And from here you can see that I can see who is the current holder, and to change to the holder that I want them to be on. So if I click change here, it will say that I'm not able to change it, and I need to connect to my other domain controller that I want to make the changes on. So if you if I expand that here, you will see that I'm currently connected to NLB-DC-01. So I won't be able to change my FSMO roles, to transfer my FSMO roles from here. So what I need to do is I need to right click and change domain controller and use my NLB-DC-02, which is my branch of SDC, and I can click OK. And now that I'm connected to my DC02, I can again open the operations masters, and from here now I can see that I can transfer the following role to this DC. So I'm going to click change. It's going to ask me if I'm sure. I'm going to click yes, and the operations master role was successfully transferred. Okay, you can see how easy it is. It's like child's play, but you need to be sure that you know what you are doing. So I'm going to change the PDC, and I'm going to change the infrastructure. Okay, so now if I check once again where are my FSMO roles, domain-wide FSMO roles are located on my DC02. All my forest-wide roles are located on my DC01. So I'm going to move now the forest-wide roles. I'm going to start by opening my domains and trusts. And please note that you have to force a replication or just wait to all the transfer, when you transfer the roles or the information, to be replicated to your other DCs, because you can see errors during the process. When you try to open different tools, for example, when I tried to open my Active Directory domains and trusts, it said that the PDC emulator was not reachable, so I had to force a replication. Now that everything is okay, I can proceed with my changing my forest operation roles. So here under the Active Directory domains and trusts, if you go right on the top and right click, you can see the operations master once again, and here you can go ahead and transfer the domain naming operation master. So the three domain forest roles are you can transfer from Active Directory users and computers, and the domain naming operations master forest wide role you can change from the Active Directory domains and trusts. So I'm going to click change. Okay, and the role transferred successfully. So if I check once again, almost every single FSMO role within my forest currently changed. The only thing that's left is the Schema Master, but where I can change that, and that's the thing that you need to consider when you try to change the schema. The schema is not automatically added, or it's not accessible within your Active Directory users and computers and domains and trusts. In order for you to add and open the schema, you need to add the management console of the schema using the registry. So the command to add the schema is rec svr32 and the schema management.dll. So when I press enter, it will say that it succeeded. I'm going to click OK, and now I'm going to open an MMC console, and from file add remove snap-in, if I expand that right here, I can see that from here I now have the schema, and if I add that, I'll click OK, and now I have the schema and all of the classes, all of the attributes. You can see the information. I don't recommend changing anything from here because it can damage your Active Directory. So if you right click on the top, you can see the operations master. So from here, if you remember, first I need to connect to my DC02, change Active Directory domain controller 02. Okay, and what I need to do Let me see if I'll be able to transfer that. Okay, the operation master successfully transferred. It basically told me that it was not able to fully connect. Let me see. Not connected to the schema operations master. Okay. But I think I managed to change my schema. Let's see if I query my FSMO roles once again. I did successfully. So you can see now that I've successfully managed to transfer all the FSMO roles from my primary DC to my secondary DC that is in my branch office. There are other ways. For example, if something happens with one of your domain controllers that is holder of your FSMO roles, you can what you can do is you can seize that role, and what it will do is basically it will forcefully take the role from that domain controller. But I do not recommend doing that if, for example, you can fix your domain controller. The seizing you should do only if that DC is completely broken, for example, and you are not going to be able to restore its functionality. So what you will need to do is you need to seize the roles. It will forcefully pick them up and will assign them to the DC that you are trying to seize on them. So this is my overview of how you can transfer your FSMO roles within Active Directory, and this is valid for Windows 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, 2012 R2. So if you are considering of transferring your FSMO roles, I hope that this video can help you to achieve this. So thank you very much for viewing, and see you soon.